Hello, my name is Kyle Ainsworth. I'm really happy to be here today at RootsTech. I'm going to talk to you about the Lone Star Slavery Project. This is a research project that I've been doing since 2020, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about its purpose, the methodology, and then where I see it going. We're a new project, but I think there's a really bright future for the research we're doing, and hopefully you will be the beneficiary of it at some point. Well, if not now, then at some point in the future. All right, so the project's purpose is really that there's a need for this material, and I recognize it from working in an archives every day and not being able to help people. To be 100% honest, when someone is looking for information on slavery, especially the name of an individual, it's not like they can't do the same thing that we can generally do with a lot of people who are looking for other people, which is to say there aren't census records, there aren't documents that are organized by their name. Everything is organized by the name of the enslaver. And so recognizing that, I thought using kind of the unique skills that I have as an archivist, that I could organize a project that would help people do slavery research in a way that was maybe more, it would be easier for them to find things about their ancestors. It's a very laborious process, very detail oriented, and very slow going. But I'm hopeful that as the project gains steam over the next couple of years, that it will really start providing beneficial resources to people who might not otherwise engage with their slave ancestry or the history of slavery in Texas. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. So what am I doing, right? So where available, I'm going through a data set. Right now, the data sets that I'm working with are primarily deed and probate records because they are the data sets that have the largest number of slaves for a particular county. I'm going county by county. So like on the screen here, you can see some of Nacogdoches County's deed books. On the picture below, I'm also going through microfilm. And then the other picture is a copy stand. That's where if I'm photographing an original record, in this case, this is a probate inventory book from Nacogdoches County. But I'm going page by page and pulling out every record that pertains to slavery for that data set. And it's meticulous. I'm not using the index. I found that using the index, you can miss things. For instance, there are records where it's about land, but the collateral is $500, and then way down buried on the third or fourth page is, oh, and I paid with a slave as well as to help pay off that deed. So going page by page and finding every single record that I can for that data set. In Nacogdoches County, books A through P, 5,000 or 6,000 pages, I found 1,050 records. It just depends county to county and with what survives for the deed record. In Rusk County, books B through E of the deed record are gone. So yes, I went A through P, but there's going to be a big gap. But anyways, these are the resources that I'm looking at, either original or microfilm records. And so what I'm then doing is extrapolating the information that I'm getting from microfilm or getting from the photographs, and then I'm putting it in Excel. I have so this is a picture of St. Augustine County deed records. You can see even just by the rows that there are more than 2,000 records, names of individuals, and I'm going through and pulling out information for each record. So, in the middle here you can see Henry, Tennant, Napoleon, Nelson, Eliza. So these are all enslaved people that are owned by one individual, and I'm pulling out all that information And then what I'll be doing is once I finish it and finish doing all the metadata work, I start to cross-reference, say, okay, this is the same person. The person that's in this record is also the person that's in this other record, so they're the same person, and I'm putting those records together. So yeah, cross-referencing individuals across different counties and data sets. The example on this page is for Mary. She is the person that I have the most records for. Her enslaver, William McDaniel, mortgaged her almost every year from 1839 to 1854. So we have a mortgage for her year over year over year over year. And so I can now, by working with this data so closely, I can say, okay, this is the same person. This is not, in this case, 20 different people. This is the same person, and I'm seeing their name in the record, and I can put all that information together so that a researcher wouldn't have to do that. You can see on the bottom corner all the different types of records. Here we have an acknowledgement book from Nacogdoches County, different deed books, different volumes. There's also some stuff from St. Augustine. So moving between these different counties, I can pull these records together. The website that I have is very cookie cutter, very basic, but I'm not the most tech savvy person, so it's great for my needs. It's got some minor glitches, this and that, but what you see here is this is Mary's compound object page for in the project, and you can see along the right margin all the different records, the images of the different records she's in. I have controlled vocabulary, so you can search to see the names of family members if any of them are named, and you can yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can cross-reference and search. But the point being, and you can see even in this one, it's a little hard to see. I'm also, by comparing who is enslaved with who, can say, okay, even though Mary at various times was called Mariah, Mara, Martha, Marta, I know based on who she's enslaved with that those people are all the same person, and that the enslaver is giving that person different names depending on the record. So a little bit about my research. So I am focusing primarily on stuff that we have in our archives first. This is not my my daytime job. I do a lot of this research on nights and weekends, and so focusing on what I have at hand. What is the least amount of I'm not spending my own money or anything like that to travel or stay in hotels and do that. So I want to use all the resources that I have at hand first, and I'm really fortunate. So we have in our archives, we have a microfilm reader. Through the state of Texas, you can interlibrary loan deed and probate records, and from almost every county in the state. So I can go through methodically, county by county, and do research on slaves in each county. It's not as the image quality is not as great as if I was doing the originals, but it saves a ton of time, and I'm getting all that metadata. It is a very slow process. The research team is very small. Myself, and then we have some students on a grant transcribing records, and we have volunteers transcribing. It's a very ambitious project, right? I mean, there are 182,000 slaves in Texas in 1860 alone. That's not counting whatever the historical population is going back into the 16 and 1700s. There could be who knows how many more. And so I know that, like, right now the project has about 3,000 enslaved people, and not that many people. But my approach is that just keep chipping away. I don't work very quickly, but we get a county done this year, we get a county done next year. Next year, maybe we have 5,000 slaves documented in the project. In 5 years, maybe there'll be 10 or 20,000 slaves, and then it's really becoming something. Right now, it's pretty small. Only a couple counties, mostly in East Texas, that are documented. But it's growing, and if you take it incrementally and slowly, I think that this could become a really important and major resource for people doing research on slavery in Texas. There's so much space in this research field, slavery in Texas. So I'm definitely open to volunteers or collaborating. But as I say in the slide, I'm maybe not the easiest person to work with in some cases, in the sense that I have a very rigorous methodology, and I'm not cutting any corners when it comes to transcribing every record. We're a public university. We need to be ADA compliant. Also, it's amazing how many people can't read cursive anymore, so it's really important to transcribe everything so that we create the widest access to these materials as there possibly can be. This is the status of the project right now. You can see I have a lot of moving pieces at the moment. There are, several data sets that I've completed. Working right now on uploading Nacogdoches County baptisms and San Augustine County deeds. Panola County is pretty much done. Just need to do a little bit more metadata work on that. And then I have a bunch of counties where volunteers are doing transcriptions. So we're making progress. I'm hoping that this year, by the end of this year, we'll have San Augustine County, Panola County, Rusk County, and possibly Cherokee County deed records all online, which is not an insignificant accomplishment, and it can move on to another county. If you have a moment, I'd check out this link, where I was really fortunate to be featured on CBS This Morning in 2021, and the producer is the person who is the beneficiary of the piece, but it really shows you the impact of an ancestor for doing this research.
We're sharing it up.
Oops. And so also, please be sure to check out my other research. I have the Texas Runaway Slave Project, and I've been doing this research for about a decade. And here's my contact information. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you sometime soon.